Okay, welcome to the design course, and we'll be diving right into some basic things in this process. Okay, the first thing we want to look at here is the design process, a systematic approach to creating effective design. To simply put this, these are simply the process that you will take to come up with an effective design that actually solves the market's problem. Okay, let's say a client reach out to you. How do you come up with the idea, to executing the idea, to making sure that that client sign off the work like it? How do you go between feedbacks and making changes to your design and finally signing it off? And how do you even share your work at the end? Okay, so the design process actually goes through the research and discovery phase. Okay, so the first process there is research and discovery. So under research, you have to understand that this is the first stage of the design process, and you have to make the discovery that is needed for that design to be well done. Okay, designers in this point have to gather information. You have to gather information, conduct market analysis, and understand the project requirement. Okay, this stage will help you to get a solid foundation or make a solid foundation for your design. You have to research, just make research on that particular design. Okay, and the next thing there is defining the design brief. Design brief is actually making sure that you are hitting the right targeted audience. Is the design made for kids? Are you using what color or font are you using? You have to make this decision right here in understanding the brief. If the brief is targeting young adults, you have to know that you have to use vibrant colors to make sure that you are hitting the targeted audience. All this is the foundation for making sure that your design work well. So we have ideation and concept development. Ideation and concept development. So in this stage, designers have to generate ideas and concepts based on the research and the design brief. Now, once you've known that the targeted audience are children, then you have to start formulating. Maybe in your sketch, you can start drawing image of children, or maybe you are researching images. You have to search for image of kids, children, or searching for colors that children like, or you're searching for fonts that are made for them. So this is where the concept, you start developing concept. Maybe I should use an adult, maybe I should use a kid, maybe I should use anything that helps in making sure that the targeted audience are met. This is where you are kind of jot them down, put them down. You start forming ideas in your brain, okay, and everything just starts flowing. This is where you start practicing divergence thinking, where you don't just think inside the box, but you think outside the box. Okay, so you explore different possibilities of actually making that come to pass. Because sometimes clients will reach out to you and they say, okay, we want this design. Sometimes once you make your research, just let the idea sit there and let your mind start to wander. Okay, sometimes what really makes the mind to think clearly is based on what you've seen over the years. Okay, all what we create are based on what we've seen over the years. So you have to see more design to be able to become more articulate when it comes to idea formulation, because we were all born blank slate. We don't actually know anything in the beginning. So over time, we've seen things, and all the ideas of the things you've seen are going to come. This is the reason why I'll always give this suggestion that you go on Pinterest and just look at beautiful design. Look at design all day, because when it's time to actually formulate an idealate or put ideas into paper, it is based on what you've seen that you are going to pen down. Okay, but if you've not seen anything like of such before, you're not going to pen down because you are limited by your imagination. Okay, but you can actually create an out of imagination, but your imagination can be fueled by what you've seen. So see beautiful design, and they are going to help you in this moment of ideation and concept development. Then we have the design execution. Design execution is actually finalizing the concept. Okay, design move on to the design execution phase. Okay, this involves translating that concept that you've brought about into visual element, such as layout. You start using typography, start using the color, you start using the image that you've gotten. So in this moment, this is where you actually use design software and tools to create the actual design. This is when you sit before your computer. This is when you hold your smartphone to start designing. Okay, this is the design execution. Now we have the iteration and refinement. Well, believe me or not, you are going to make a design, send it off to the client, and the client is going to say, well, I don't like this color. Okay, it's going to happen. This is at the process whereby you move back and forth, whereby the stakeholders will say, I love this font. Then the manager will say, I don't like the font. No, people will just try to rip your design apart. This even happened to the best in the industry. Your work is going to be rejected. Okay, know this for sure. It's definitely going to be rejected. So you have to understand that iteration and refinement have to always come in. You send a work off and they come back and rip it up. But sometimes you can be good. Not really you being good. Beauty here is in the eyes of the beholder. Okay, you can make a beautiful design and somebody will say it's ugly. It's not your fault. It's their fault. It's just depends on what they like. Okay, beauty is subjective. Okay, you can make good design and to you it's good, but to somebody else is garbage. Okay, so even to the best of us in the industry, it happens to us. So you have to understand that it exists. Okay, so that is one thing you should know. So this iterative approach ensures continuous improvement and align the design with the desired outcome. Okay, the reason why this is being done is so that who is paying you for that design gig, we make sure that the design suits the purpose why they are making the design. Okay, it's not just about putting their hands in their pocket and giving you. Okay, they want a targeted they want a result, and they feel that what you've done will not give them the result. That's the reason why they refine it. Okay, there's also what they call the buyer's remorse, whereby sometimes when people have done something, a service for some person, you just feel bad that is this what I'm paying this amount for? Okay, they just want, because some person they don't actually believe in simplicity, so they want complex design. Okay, complex design that don't end up driving sales. In the design industry, less is more, but people who don't know design, they want everything to be in the design. But over the years, they just come to understand and say, oh, please, I believe my designer now. Okay, just do anything and come up with it. Because over the years, the trust your client will have for you depends on how you are able to educate them on what works and what does not work. Okay, they may not understand design the way you do, so you have to understand that you have to educate them to make sure that whatever refinement they are trying to bring into the design work out well. Okay, and not against them. Okay, because sometimes, and let me just say this here too, and sometimes when clients just feel adamant and they just want you to do a particular thing in a design, please, number one rule, don't argue with your clients. Give them what they want. Okay, give them what they want, because it's their design, they are paying for it. And if somehow they end up choosing and making designs that you don't like, it's very simple. Do not put it in your portfolio. I repeat, do not put it in your portfolio. I've made designs sometimes that I can't even show the word that I did, but the client said that's what they like. I'm like, oh my god, how will I even show the word that I did this? Because I'm not even satisfied. Whatever work you've done for a client that they reject, even though you love it, that's the one you should post that you did. Okay, remember, it's your portfolio, not your client. It's your portfolio, not your client. So always post what you think is standard design, because you are the designer, not the client. Okay, so we have presentation and feedback. So once the design is refined, you have to present it to the client and the stakeholders. After the back and forth movement, finally you tell them, okay, this is the final work. Okay, you explain the design rationale. Okay, you may not actually need this in most cases, because during the iteration and refinement, this process always kind of blend in together, so there's no kind of hard rule here. So this stage is crucial for collaboration and ensuring that the design meets the expectation and requirement. Okay, once you present it, and most times this is just a kind of a moment, because they've already refined it and there's too much to do. So production and implementation, this is where they actually take your design to the printer. Most times it's not often in your hands, sometimes, because this is how it works. You make a design, you send it off to the client, they look for a printer and print it. Sometimes your client may say, oh, please, I don't have that time, please print it for me and Weeby it to me. It also works like that, fine. Okay, in order to cut Weeby, it depends on where you're watching it from. In order to cut that expensive, sometimes it's better that you design, send the copy to the client, and let the client look for a better printer around their vicinity and just print it off to go. So we have the evaluation and reflection. This is actually based on the designer. In my own bookkeeping, whenever I've done something for a client, I always have this a column where I write what I learned, because sometimes some design jobs can actually stress you out to the point that you don't even learn anything. Okay, but sometimes they will stress you and you actually learn something. Some clients can be really good creatives. They just give you right suggestion and all of that, so it makes sense that you listen to them too and evaluate the process. If you made mistake in the transaction, just jot it down so that next time you don't repeat such mistake. One mistake is not taking money before starting the work. It's a hard lesson I learned, and I said no, I will never start the job until I've gotten 50%. That's my policy. Okay, that's my policy. Or else you are so close to me, I'm like, okay, I trust you. And most times when you've started the job without taking any down, it's stressful. Okay, because you need money to start if the work. Even you need fuel. Okay, you need it. So that's one thing you should know. So evaluation and reflection, always learn from your past, because if you're not learning from your past, it's really going to tear you down in the future. Okay, before we go to the some common challenges faced during iteration and refinement stage, that will be in the next video. I just want to conclude here by telling you that by following these stages, okay, research, refine, defining the idea brief, ideation and concept development, design execution, iteration and refinement, presentation and feedback, production and implementation, evaluation and reflection, you will be able to meet the client's need, okay, and resonate with their audiences. Okay, this is the process, okay, of actually making sure that a design is well carried out. Okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in this video. We'll talk about what are some common challenges designers face during iteration and refinement. Okay, we need to look at those things because it's going to be your frustration. Okay, and I don't want you to be frustrated. Okay, so thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.